Greetings and welcome to our very first episode of Super Speak Sundays. Hey, I'm your host, James the Orator. This platform has been created to highlight ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today we have with us a unique guest. He's somebody who means a lot to me. My own brother, Keith Dix. We're going to bring Keith in. He's going to talk about some things he's done in his business that you have to hear about. Keith, are you there? Keith, are you there?
I'm here.
Keith, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. How about you?
Good. Welcome to Super Speak Sundays. I was telling our audience when we first got started, this is our very first taping, and we're really excited about the information we're going to share with the community and our listening audience. So, Keith, what we're going to do? We always start with a quote, and we want to just give you that quote and just get your initial reaction to what the quote says. So I'm going to post it here. So the quote says, "People are ready to travel for summer vacation. These are considered happy times, which allows us to detach from our daily grind. It is no surprise that travel and happiness have strong correlations." How do you respond to that, Keith?
Mm. Oh man, I can help with that.
All right, help us
that's
out. Help
that's
us
a
out.
actually a really good quote. Travel and happiness have strong correlations. Absolutely. And again, the service we provide is with RV travel. So again, you travel by car and plane, but definitely traveling by RV will definitely help you to have some of that correlation because you're traveling together as a family and creating memories. So,
All right. Well, a part of this, part of the initiative of even doing this show is we want to inspire people to be able to move from where they are if they're thinking about a business, what have you. Well, tell us a little bit about how you were raised and what that means for your journey to Touchdown RV.
yep, I mean, we didn't have any entrepreneurial. Our parents weren't entrepreneurial. I think they were, stay at the job for 50 years to get the gold watch.
Right, right.
Um, so, um, so I don't know. My entrepreneurial really. Um, I think it stems from customer service. Like I always been big on customer service, and I think that's a transferable skill, especially in business. So I read something that said that good employees make good entrepreneurs. So I think I was a pretty good employee,
Okay.
and I think that's translated to being a good entrepreneur.
Now, when you think about your journey after leaving home and going into the workforce, talk a little bit about what you did in the workforce to kind of prepare you for Touchdown RV.
Yeah, so I was actually in IT. So I did computers and implementing different systems, managing teams. So again, I think those things definitely helped me, kind of in our business today. I mean, for example, I think I've probably been through maybe 4 or 5 iterations of my website. So I'm always
Okay.
kind of looking for that continuous
Okay.
improvement. Um, I'm on my second iteration of a reservation system. So I got systems in place. So that definitely is very helpful in business. And then of course, just kind of the management. Just kind of I feel like I was always a hands-on manager. So same thing with the business. So at some point, I think I'm almost there. You always want to work on the business and not in the business, but definitely in
Right.
those first 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, you're definitely working in the business until you can earn enough money to pay somebody to help you out.
Now, Touchdown RVs is a very unique business model. Of course, you can go to any of the major organizations to rent an RV, but you have something a bit different. I mean, you started this organization from the ground up. Talk about your family's involvement and what that meant as you made the plunge to even start Touchdown RV.
Oh yeah, yep. Like I said, we started with one RV, and actually, I started as a side job. So actually, I did this. I was still, working in the IT field, and I actually started this on the side. So I always joke and said that my I used to do the checkout, meet with customers on my lunch hour and after work.
Right.
Other times I was actually working. Actually, I think about a lot. My kids are actually very blessed to grow up. There's a quote that says that more is caught than taught.
Right.
So just kind of being, I come home complaining,
Right.
or trying to make the ends meet, at times, so they hear all that conversation. So they definitely are blessed to grow up in an entrepreneurial household where they can have different conversations in our household that someone just kind of 9 to 5 wouldn't have, so yeah, so it's very families are very important, and my family enjoys to go RVing as well. So that's always an added bonus. It's not just my passion, but my family enjoys RVing as well.
I have to ask you this question. Go back to, because obviously we didn't grow up using RVs or camping, anything like that. Go back to your very first time in an RV and describe what that experience is like for you.
Oh man, I think it's funny. I don't know if you remember this. Again, of course, we bought an RV. I don't know
Right.
if you remember back in Lake County area, Northwest Indiana. We went to go look at an RV back in Northwest Indiana. I don't know if you remember that. So we actually went to go look at it. We didn't buy it then, but again, the story goes, us three brothers went and bought an RV,
You sure did.
and and like I said, you kind of get excited about it, and then it starts sitting more than you're using it.
Oh yeah.
And then I think after we went through that iteration twice, and then we went to go rent one. There was a dealer on the south side, went to go rent one, and they were sold out for a specific
I remember
holiday.
that. I remember
So that
that.
was really kind of a light bulb that kind of went off. It was like, there's some more piece of the pile here. So that was kind of like I think the seed that was planted, just
Right.
kind of purchasing those RVs and kind of experiencing, a RV not being available, when we wanted to rent one.
Right. And so I do remember that, vividly, us going to look at RVs and having this dream of purchasing an RV. And I do remember that very first one we purchased. It was a lot of fun. But
Oh
so
yeah.
so 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 we buy these two RVs and you decide, so your next move is what?
Um, after we sold the RV.
Yeah, after we bought the two and then sold the two,
Oh,
your next move was what?
I think, like I said, I think a seed was planted. I don't think I did anything initially. As soon as so it's been 8 years. So it was at 2014 is
Right.
when, so I bought an RV, um, to, again, I think the impetus was that, I'll be able to use the RV and make money off the RV at the same time. So that's
Right.
kind of some of the then and I always had a contingency plan too. I said if this don't work, I'll just sell the
Right.
RV
Right. Right.
and go back to my day job. So
And so
I
so
kind of had
you I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I had a contingency plan as I started. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I had a contingency plan.
Okay. Okay.
Some people like to go all in and no fair, but
Right.
I kind of look at all the options.
And so you buy this very first RV, and if I remember correctly, you bought one RV first, and that was the
Yep.
one that you initially started to rent out. Do you remember your very first
Right.
customer?
I do. I do. I can't remember their name, but they actually went to Florida actually.
Okay.
Um, and actually I did that first checkout in front of my house. So they actually met me at my house to do that very first checkout. So I definitely remember that.
And so you started with one RV, and what was the year again?
2014.
2014, and it brings us 2000. Well, it brings us to 2022, and you now have how many RVs? Talk about your fleet that you have right now.
Yep. So I was. It's funny. I always joke. My wife and I. It's good to have some yin and yang, but I
Yeah.
always joke that I have my foot on the gas and she got her foot on the brake.
Right. Right.
So I was very aggressive. and moving. So right now we have probably about 28 RVs that we actually rent out. So and it's a mixture of class A's, class B's. We just introduced those this last year. Class C's, and then travel trailers, the one you pull with the vehicle.
Now, Keith, you might be talking a foreign language to some of our listeners.
That's
If you
true.
can just kind of break down what those letters mean. You said I heard you say Class A, Class B, C. Can you
Oh
can
yeah,
you kind of give a description of each so our
yeah.
listening audience will know?
Yep. So class A's are kind of call those the big boys. So those are the ones that kind of look like school buses, like kind of like
Okay,
the square front. Class B's, it's a big trend now about van life. So class B's are more like vans, but they have all of your amenities like the restrooms and air conditioner generators. And then class C's, how you can remember those kind of look like U-Hauls. So it kind of has like the four E50, E350 fronts, and then kind of like the overhang. So those kind of like U-Hauls. And then
okay.
of course, the travel trailers are ones again you just hook those up to a vehicle to pull those.
Okay. And so it sounds like people have a range of options if they do choose to rent RVs. Now, I got to be honest with you. I know when we first got the RV, it was somewhat intimidating to drive the RV because, unlike a car, I mean, you got a lot of you got a lot of responsibility. You got a long
Right.
tail. You have, especially if you're in a class a class C, you have
A.
the hanging
Oh yeah.
hanging
Oh yeah.
piece over your head, and so if someone was interested in exploring their first experience with renting an RV, what would you tell them?
Come see Touchdown RV. So like we actually, again, of course we're in business. We're for profit. So again, we're definitely in it to make money. But one thing that we take serious, like I take great responsibility in making sure someone's first RV experience is a great experience. I take that personally. So I want to make sure because again, if you have a bad experience, I mean, you may never uh, you know, do anything in the RV industry again. So I want to make sure, even if you don't like, if you went out and had a great experience and you just didn't like it, I don't want you to don't like it because you had a bad experience from your first time going out. So, but yeah, so we take pride in that. We give you a phone number to call that you have access 24 hours a day, and then of course we give you orientation. Once you come and pick the RV up to kind of show you all the buttons and how everything works. So they said I think we specialize in first time RVers. So
Okay, okay. Now, if someone did want to rent an RV, will they have the opportunity to drive the RV to kind of get some hands-on experience?
uh, not normally. I always joke and say it's all about courage.
Okay, okay.
So again, once we give you that orientation, we just say, and we always tell people before they leave, 99% of our accidents happen in gas stations. So if you're careful pulling in and out of a gas station, everything else is highway driving it has a brake in the gas just like your car. So
During COVID-19, there were restrictions with flying and moving, about, using different, means of transportation. What did that do for the RV business?
yeah, we were very fortunate, lucky that it was really really good for our business. I've seen something that says like if your business can survive a pandemic, then it's probably a good business.
Right.
So like I said, uh, during that pandemic, I mean, it was really a place for people to go where they're able to be with their family, kind of travel. I think we did a blog post that said, be able to travel in your own little bubble. So it's been the pandemic has been very very good for our business, and we're able to provide that service to our customers.
I like for you to kind of talk a little bit about, I know starting a business can somewhat be intimidating because you're giving up, your benefits, you're giving up everything that you have. If someone was on the edge about, starting a business and moving forward, what advice would you give them?
Right. Well, you know how in my instance, again, it's hard to look back now, but I was actually laid off from my job. So I was in IT management, and looking back, I'm not 100% sure I would have quit my job. um,
Right. Right.
but has how fate had it that I actually got laid off, and then I kind of kind of evaluated if I should I got my bachelor's, my master's. I kind of told myself, hey, I can always go back and get a job.
Right.
So I just kind of tried it and see what happened. And again, luckily everything worked out. But um, so, I mean, to your question, I mean, I think research is very important. Like I said, you definitely want to know exactly what you're getting into. Know who your competitors are, and just kind of know what type of market that you get into. So, I mean, for my instance, I think last year I had 500 customers. So and that it kind of gives you a perspective, like based off the amount of RVs I have, I just need 500 of the best customers. So if you can kind of break your business down like that, of course, depending on what you're selling or the service you're providing, but do research, know what type of market that you need. Also kind of know kind of understand the numbers as well. And then of course, marketing is always very important. Having all your social media and being able to, right now, content creation is king. If you can create
Mhm.
content,
Right.
um, that's very important.
As you think back, maybe when you first started your business, or even now, I mean, what are those two or three things that keep you up at night, that keep you wondering about your business?
I mean, one is employees. Just kind of making sure, you know. Again, I like quotes too. It said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Go with someone else. So definitely having a good team in place to kind of help you achieve goals. That's always. I think as you go up and down. The highways and byways of America, you probably see a lot of now hiring signs everywhere. I
Mhm.
mean, they talk about the Great Resignation is kind of
Right.
what's happening now. So that's always just kind of making sure employees, and then really, with the RVs, there's a lot of technical things to them when they break. So just making sure that we can keep all our fleet in good working order, and then of course just finance. You know what I mean? I mean the buck stops here. So
Right.
there's no if you're working in corporate America, you got that paycheck coming every month, every
Right.
2 weeks. So just kind
Right.
of making sure you manage your resources well is kind of things I would say.
Okay. Now, in addition to renting RVs to the general public, you also have another program that you recently rolled out that I think is phenomenal. I'm a part of the program, and can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yep. So it's we call our owner management program. So again, if you experience what I experienced as far as buying an RV and not using it as much as you thought you would have, you can bring the RV to me and then enter it into my rental program. And then I always joke and say it's like mailbox money. So you just receive a check in the mail each month, based off whatever the rentals that happen, but it's hands off. Like I take care of the customers, I take care of cleaning, I take care of doing repair work, any repair work that's needed. So yeah, so it's been a good program. We got about 4 or 5 customers that do it, and again, I think that's probably going to be part of our growth. I mean, right now, 600,000 new RVs are being delivered to or purchased every year for the last couple of years. So there's a lot of RVs on the road. Um, so I think it's going to be a nice growth opportunity for us.
I mean, do you think that RVing is why is the trend, why is it exploding? I mean, what's making this RV world? What's making it explode?
Yeah, I mean, definitely COVID. I think shit, kind of shined the light on the RV industry because, like I said, people kind of wanted to have their own little bubble to kind of travel. But it's funny. I'm still trying to figure this out. I mean, the RV industry been around a long time. I actually read Will Smith's book, and he talked about his book. Like, I think it's 1974, 75. Him and his family rented an RV to do a trip. So that was interesting to see that. But every time I talk to someone, and they always say, "Oh, I always wanted to do that."
Right.
It's like
Right.
it's like amazing. It's kind of
Right.
like a desire that's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we were born with a desire to RV, but it sure seems like it. A lot of people I talk to, I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do that. So it's kind of one of those things that you see it around and you just kind of put it on your bucket list to travel across country. But it's fun. It's really fun. To do so. I don't know if that answers your question. What
No,
was
it
your
did.
question?
It did. It did. It did. As an entrepreneur, sometimes we feel like we're on an island. Sometimes there are times when you feel alone. Who keeps you inspired, or what keeps you inspired?
Right, right. I watch a lot of podcasts, a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos. Really just trying to get more understanding. I always say, I read books too, but you got to think about the luck. That's what I read recently. How lucky I am. That
Right.
most businesses blessed. Most businesses are fail after 3 or 4 years. So again, we just hit 8 years here in February. So we're definitely blessed, definitely lucky, because you think about all the stuff that could have gone wrong and all the stuff that I didn't know about business. As I started down this path. So yes, I try to do a lot of reading and reach out to different people. But yep. So I definitely something I want to put together, like on my docket, just kind of putting together some people around me, like a board and things
Right.
like that, to kind of help me kind of keep growing the business.
I think it's a great addition to what you're doing. Great work. So you have someone who's watching this vodcast. We call this a vodcast, and they see your website at the bottom. On the tickler at the bottom, and they're thinking about coming to see you. What do you tell them?
Oh yeah, I always say, come and measure for curtains. So come and take a look at it. Sit on the couch, sit in the driver's seat. Come look at it. If somebody came by yesterday, it's like, wow, I had never been in an RV before. So yeah, so I need to probably do like an open house or something. Just kind of
Be a good
put an
idea.
event around it. Let's make people have never been in the RV before, but yeah, definitely always feel free to stop by. Our office hours and hours are on our website and on Google. If you Google our business, but come by. We'll show you around the RV. You can look at all the different models and types. So we're always happy to show people around.
Where can they find you on social media, Keith?
Yep. So you can find us on Instagram, touchdown underscore RV, and Facebook, just touchdown RV. We're going to be getting our TikTok going. So that's touchdown RV as well. So yep. And then of course our website is on the ticker at the bottom. So
Perfect, perfect. I think you have a great platform and some good things going on. One last thing,
mm,
leave our guests with an inspiring word. Think about that person who's think about that person who again, we want part of what we're doing is we want to inspire people to chase their dreams. What do you tell the person who's right on the edge and they're ready, but they need that push? What do you tell them?
right. Yeah, I probably would end it kind of how we started, like with your platform. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
That's
So
it.
I definitely think I'm just an ordinary person. But like I said, but I definitely I work hard. I try to learn all that I can. I'm a seeker of knowledge, so I always learning. So I would definitely say, take the jump, definitely take the jump. But like in my case, be prepared. Be prepared to take the jump. I mean, some people say, you take the jump and build a parachute coming down.
Right.
But I kind of like to know how the parachute works,
Absolutely.
before I build it. But definitely take the jump. Reach out to people. That's one thing I think I think I'm a natural introvert. I think. So I've been doing better just to kind of reach out to people and set up meetings with people. Just kind of learning from different people too. So
Right.
take the jump, be prepared, and really stay positive. I think mindset. I think you always have to start with mindset. Um, and I think that's the first step, really, mindset. And then after that, reaching out to people, learning all you can about the industry that you want to get into, and really, like I said, just go for it.
Good, good. Keith, we want to thank you for joining us for Super Speak Sundays. This is a
Thank
great
you.
first. This is a great first episode. I wouldn't have it any other way, but have my own brother on the first episode. So again, I thank you for taking the
Yep.
time, and we're gonna encourage people to go and visit Keith. He's right in Zionsville. Go in and sit down on the couches and push the brakes, push the gas, blow the horn, and they're ready for you. So Keith, again, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me. I feel honored to be your first guest.
Oh, no doubt about it. Talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard our very first episode of Super Speak Sundays. Again, we want to thank you for tuning in. Again, this is the platform where we speak with ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things. Until next time, goodbye.